In this video, we will be looking at the trig function sine to help us solve some questions involving right triangles. So sine is pronounced sine. We're going to be seeing the Greek letter theta in this video, and that's going to be used to represent some unknown angles. So when you actually have a triangle and you've got a particular angle, like the one we're talking about here with theta, and you're going to be dealing with sine, what you're going to be dealing with is the side that's opposite your angle and the side that is the hypotenuse. And of course, your hypotenuse is your side directly across from your right angle and your right triangle. Okay, so even before we get to solving this, there's a couple of things you can do with sine on your calculator. So for instance, the first thing you can do is you can do something like, well, figure out what the sine of 32 is. So you take your calculator, you type sine, you type 32, you hit the equal sign, and you get an answer of 0.5514. Well, that answer is a ratio within a triangle, but to me what I find more useful is when I can do the opposite of this function. In fact, if you press the second button and sine, you should get this little sign to the -1. And then what you can actually do is you can type that 0.5514 from earlier, hit the equal sign, and what you actually find is you get a number of 32. And that is, of course, representing our angle within a triangle. So if we've got a couple of sides on a triangle, what we can do is we can find an angle within that particular right triangle. So here we go. You'll notice that I've labeled this triangle here with the A. A is going to represent the angle we're going to find. So we actually have 3 sides here, which is fine, but we only ever need 2, especially if we're only using the sine. So what we have to label here is, with respect to our angle A, what side is opposite of A? Well, it should be this number 9. And what side is going to be representing the hypotenuse? That's going to be the 10.8. So if we take 9 and divide it by 10.8 on our calculators, we should get about 0.8333 repeated. Okay, so well, what does that do for us right now? Well, if we take that 0.833 and we actually do the second sign of the second function of sine, what that generally means is you generally have to press the second button and then the sign, and you should get the sign to the -1. And then you type your answer, 0.8333, hit the equal sign. We'll be able to figure out what the angle A is equal to in this problem, and it's 56.44. So therefore, our angle A is equal to 56.44. Awesome. Well, there's another type of question we can do too. And it starts with a triangle that already has an angle in it. And what we're trying to find is the side X. So you're looking at this and you're probably saying, okay, I really have no idea. But let's just take a look at what we exactly have. Right now on the bottom of this triangle, there's nothing here. So we're just going to forget that even exists. What we're dealing with is we've got an X and we've got a 283. Now that 283 is going to act across from our hypotenuse. So this 283 is going to represent our hypotenuse. You'll notice that our angle 24, if we go straight across from it, we have something that would be opposite. So let's see, what are we dealing with? We've got an opposite angle, we've got a hypotenuse here. Let's not forget, SOHCAHTOA, that sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So our sine of sine of 24 is going to be equal to our opposite over hypotenuse. Our opposite is x. Our hypotenuse is 283. We're going to have to do a little bit of cross multiplying here. If we say this whole sine of 24 is over 1, we're going to get sine of 24 times 283 equaling x. So if you're not familiar with cross multiplying, what we're doing is we're taking the top of one and the bottom of the other, and that's all represented on this side here. And then we've got the bottom of one side multiplied by the top of the other side, which is x. So type that into your calculator, and you should get an answer here of about 115.1. So to review, take your calculator and type 283 times sine of 24 and hit equals, and you should be able to figure out what your hypotenuse, or sorry, what your angle is in this example.